into Dragon Ball Super. My name is Kyle. Thank you for checking this out. I'm joined today by my friend Raysean. Ray, how you doing, dude?
I am doing great, but I just noticed something, and I don't know if this is something I just haven't noticed before, but you wear glasses?
I wear glasses. Yeah, I'm blind as fuck.
Oh, that's crazy, man. I'm blind too.
Yeah. Anyway, cool. Four Eyes Club. Let's talk about Chapter 86 of the Dragon Ball Super manga. I don't know why I just said it like that. Chapter 86, All Out Bout. You ever play Dragon Ball GT Final Bout for PlayStation 1 when you were a kid?
I don't think I played that game.
Worst game ever. I forget that you're also substantially younger than I am, young buck, you know? So I guess you weren't really a
I'm not
PS1
that
kid.
much, yeah.
You probably
I
like a
had a
PS2 kid.
PS1,
Did you?
but I can't
when you
even.
were like in the
I think the
womb?
only game I remember having for it is like a boxing game.
Strange. Well, it was a very rare Dragon Ball GT game that was, for some reason, brought to America by Bandai Namco. It's some like licensing anomaly that they were able to release it in the States. But yeah, worst game ever. Anyway, Dragon Ball GT Final Bout. Only thing that's good about it, opening song, opening sequence, kick-ass song. I probably have to drop it in now. And now I'll just let that layer in and post. And now I can start to tell you about Chapter 86 Dragon Ball Super All Out Bout. So, when I recorded an episode late last week, I put one out like Friday morning or something like that. I'd read through a complete summary before the actual chapter had dropped. So I've already given a bunch of my thoughts on what this chapter was. I'm kind of just like relieved that the finish line is in sight and I'm ready to move on from this arc. And it seems we're just about there. So I'm not going to read through the entirety of the events like I did last week for the summary. If you want to hear what happens beat for beat in this chapter, go check out last week's episode. What I do want to talk about a little bit more is some things that I've kind of germinated on, thought about since last week. My fucking disgusted rant last week. And I want to ask Raysean some questions about what he thought about the chapter. So I'll just jump right in, man. This was like, this chapter was frustrating to me because throughout the entirety of it, you get hints as to what Goku's going to do at the end of it. And it mostly comes in the way of Gas's giant hand and then his two giant hands and his giant feet. And I'm like, oh man. Very strange that he shifted from using energy weapons to giant fists and feet. I wish Goku had something that could help him combat giant fists and feet. And it's just like, I don't know, man. What did you feel about Gas's change in tactics? Like, are you cool with this, like, obvious foreshadowing of what's going to happen with Goku's retaliation? Or do you miss, like, the energy weapons? I kind of wish he stuck with the weapons.
See, when I initially saw that, and then I saw his age, like his face and stuff looking like he was getting older, I thought it was more like his power was kind of like leaking out. So it's kind of more like his like so it's like he's trying to manipulate that power less. I don't know how to explain it.
So
How
it
I'm trying
seemed
to.
so to you it seemed less intentional. You thought it was more like not a conscious use of weaponry, you know, giant fists or whatever,
Yeah,
like some Miss Marvel shit. Did you watch Miss Marvel on Disney Plus?
yeah, I've seen Ms. Marvel. Yep.
So a lot of the imagery totally evokes Kamala Khan energies, you know, pun fully intended.
Mhm.
Toyotaro is a fucking Marvel stan, 100%. But he uses those, I think, consciously as weapons, but you thought it was just like his power is overflowing to the point where he's got all these giant energy fists around his actual fists because that's how much power he's got.
Yeah, because it was also something where it was like he was like, my power is like leaking through my flesh. Like it's so much that my power, I can't even hold it in my body no more.
So he
So
says something. I think it's almost word for word for the translation. It's like I feel my very cells burning, like as power almost. And I
yeah, so
think
I
that
was like,
that was supposed to be. I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be foreshadowing to he's burning through his power, meaning power lifespan. Like there's gonna come a point where he powers up so much that he's not gonna have any more cells left to burn, any more life left to burn, and he's gonna die. I have to imagine. So
true, yeah,
that's what
that
I thought was gonna
definitely be what
happen
it
at
is.
least. And then That is not what happens at the end of this chapter, but we'll
Well,
get there at the end. We'll get there at the end, but all right, giant arms and legs. I mean, at least there's some kind of purpose to it, I guess. I don't like the
yeah,
eventual payoff at the end. We'll
and he
get to
was
the
kicking Goku's ass for a good minute.
Yeah, he was. While Goku was holding him off for Granolah to charge up that double finger bang, he definitely got cut up real bad, like lots of sharp, like barrage energy blasts, stuff like that.
And
Um,
then he made that like tornado shit. I was like, damn, guys.
Concerned. I was very concerned for our boy. Speaking of Goku distracting for Granolah, Granolah finally re-enters the battle in this chapter.
Like I've been telling y'all.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all expected him to come back. Raysean does this thing where the chapter will drop and he'll be like, I told you guys, but then won't tell us what he told us. Like,
Get out of here. Well,
no, dude, the other day you did this shit. You're like, I told you guys. We saw like drafts for I told you. I'm like, what'd you tell us? Remind me, because we tell each other a bunch of crazy, shitty ideas about Dragon Ball all the time on this podcast. I'm just like, yeah, I told you too, probably at a certain point or another. What'd you
yeah,
tell us?
I don't remember exactly day, but I probably did tell y'all because I be saying a lot of stuff,
What
and
did
I
he
just
comes back to
remembered.
the fight, right? That's
I
what you
know.
told us.
Oh, I definitely knew that
Yeah,
was
we all
coming.
knew that was gonna happen, man. What do you think was gonna stay passed out the rest of the arc? That would have been actually
You
really
never
funny.
know.
That would have
I
been
mean,
like the most perfect example of what this arc has been. Just drop plot threads continuously. It's like we all know Goku's gonna get the win in the end somehow, right? So we just leave Granolah passed out at home. It's fine. We don't need to. But he shows up, obviously. Uh, Kind of confusingly, like he comes in and shoots a blast before Goku and Gas go at one another, dashes at Goku. Alec is like, "Ooh, I'm gonna hire this guy. Yeah, you're working for us again, pal. Kill the Saiyans."
you know this guy's facial expressions during that. When I reread that, I noticed like he was like kind of pissed off when he's saying Alec kind of like offering him his job back. Like motherfucker, you see what I'm willing to do for you right now? I am dying to be your muscle, and you're gonna offer this person I hate job back? Okay.
Yeah, I said it last week, man. Elec is an enterprising young businessman or old businessman, presumably. I don't know how old he is, but he's always hedging his bets, man, so that he always comes out on top. Like
True.
he makes his brother sacrifice the entirety of his lifespan so he become powerful to take his revenge out on his enemies. And also, that enemy you were trying to get revenge on, he's my buddy now too. You guys are a team. Go fix my problems. He's a real piece of shit, man.
I mean, if they did somehow team up on Goku, it was oh yeah, he was done.
So Granolah makes his way back though. Confusingly when he re-enters, and it's because he needs to tell Goku his plan. I get it. Just I don't know. Hit gas with a big ass blast, and then he's like, "Hey Goku, distract him so I can charge up my big blast." Whatever, he doesn't. He tells Goku, "I heard your father's voice come to me in a dream," and I'm like, I guess part of me thinks, hopefully, because that's corny as fuck, right? That's so dumb. I'm thinking like, isn't he passed out on the floor while they're listening to the recording of the scouter and the memories?
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe it's just like a loudspeaker or something. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but he thinks it was a dream. Like, that's my new headcanon to try to get over how dumb this is.
Mm.
Because that's what I thought when I reread it today. All right. Last week, I was like, why do they keep telling me Bardock's involved? Just leave Bardock alone. And still, I feel that way. Like, just either you wrap Bardock into this effectively or you don't. And it's like, you got to remind me through a weird line like that. But I'm insisting on believing.
Or it could be the wish. That could be the wish right there.
What do you mean? Explain.
Remember the wish to make he was like the wish that my sons would be have I forgot what the wish was. You remember
Grow up to
exactly
be strong and whatever.
and prosperous or something. That could
Yeah.
be the wish in effect to help Goku out.
I'm pretty sure the parameters of that wish and the time period it would have covered Goku for have long since passed, mainly because
He made it
Raditz,
off.
that motherfucker, he got out of the planet Vegeta blast and he went on to have a long 15 maybe 20-year prosperous career working with Vegeta and Nappa off world for Frieza. Cool. Then he shows up to Earth and he meets his brother finally. And not only does Raditz die that day, but so does Goku. I think right then and there, the effects of Bardock's wish are over and done with.
That's actually really interesting. Because I was gonna try to hit you with karma, but Goku does die on the same day, so that is true.
I don't know. I guess I'm just tired of the Bardock stuff, but like, just,
I like nice Bardock.
I hate it.
Rewritten Bardock. I like this
I
Bardock.
like mean Bardock, but like maybe we'll get back to Bardock at the end of this, right? Because
I got one thing about Bardock because I thought this one when in his last iteration wasn't he a scientist?
Well, yes and no.
Oh, okay. Maybe I didn't read.
No, it's very complicated, man, because like he's basically referenced one time in the manga, sort of, and then kind of referenced again in some filler anime stuff, and then they go off and use that to make the story of Bardock, like the television special.
Mm,
So a lot of the Bardock story from, obviously before Dragon Ball Super, but back in Dragon Ball Z, a lot of that shit isn't any of Toriyama's at all for the most part. And that was a big, uh, push for him for when he made Dragon Ball Super Broly. He's like, I'm gonna make Broly my own now. I'm gonna try to do the same thing with Bardock on the screen. He'd actually done it even previous to that with, um, what is it, Jocko the Galactic Patrolman, the
okay.
flip side, I think, of his last chapter, like the last half of it is a soft retelling of Goku getting sent to Earth and Bardock and Goku's mom like was revealed in that manga. That was the big thing when that happened. And then Dragon Ball Super goes and animates that. But yeah, old Bardock, man, like I think the scientist thing that you're talking about, I don't even think that was from the Japanese stuff. I think that actually might have been a dub translation from like Funny back in the day, and they were just like,
Mm,
he's Japanese Superman, right? Well, Jarrell was a scientist. I guess Bardock was probably a great scientist too. But like Toei obviously made him into like this savage, brutal warrior who was basically a nobody among the Saiyans, and that's the version of Bardock that I love. So whatever. Every time they try to bring Bardock back to me, or back into the story, I should say, not back to me. Like, Kyle, please take Bardock back. Nah, fuck that. It's not that. Every time they try to incorporate him more into the story, I'm just like, dude, please leave it alone. Like, you've touched this character so many times since you've kind of, a quote unquote kickstarted Dragon Ball again.
it'd be cool if they tried to do something with his mom or something. Change it up a little bit.
I mean, if you want to give me a special of Gine and how she meets Bardock, sign me up. I'll watch that. But like at the end of it, she meets Bardock, and then like I don't know, that's the end. Like I want to
I
see
don't
her
know. Have
journey
her
up
have like
until
some
she
epic
becomes.
fight with Frieza or something. That'll do it.
That's
But
a
I
little
guess
crazy. No, that makes no
that wouldn't work
sense
in the timeline.
at
That's what I'm
all. She
thinking.
would die. No, that's a bad idea. You got to
Uh,
stop reading them fan fictions and shit, man. All right, I got a few more questions for you.
okay, what's up?
Manito, worst fucking friend in the history of Dragon Ball. I'll tell you why. On the way to help Gas, right after Goku is fucking him up a little bit, or excuse me, after Goku's holding him off for Granolah to be able to charge it up, Naito steps in between Oil and Maki, making their way to the battlefield, and he just puts them to sleep with hypnosis right away. And he says, my only battle power, my only battle skill is hypnosis, thankfully. Thankfully. Dude, why were you so quick to bust out that fact right after you put these dudes to sleep and act like, you know, you could have been doing that a bunch? Like, theoretically, could that have worked on Gas? Could that have worked on Alec? Could that have worked on any of these dudes? No? What made you just use it now?
That is one of the most interesting things. And I was low key thinking about that too, because it's literally it seemed like it'll almost work on anybody because they weren't scared to fight him, but so he just whipped that shit out of it. I wonder if there's like certain things he need for it to happen. Like, do you have to look at him or something, or if it's like if Alec, he probably should be able to do it to Alec, but maybe one of them has to probably be too strong for it to work. That's what I'm probably thinking.
Here's what I'm thinking, man. Like, Oil and Maki are teased throughout the whole arc since Gas unleashes his inner instinct or whatever. they quickly confirmed that they too can do that. So they can power up and fight, and they seem more than comfortable with the idea of doing it if they have to.
That's true. So I mean, maybe it's not a power cap to it.
You know they're not just like random ass pushovers. But Manito just put them to sleep real quick, robbed me of the opportunity to see them in action and do some cool shit outside of being goofy.
Well, he had to put them to sleep in that moment because if they would have won that battlefield, it was over. Because every Goku Vegeta was already done.
I get it.
They literally was holding on by like the last bit of shoe.
What I'd rather have happened is that Goku doesn't get his ass knocked out. Okay? And he doesn't have to get rescued by Vegeta, because that's what happens afterwards. Manito stops these two clowns, Goku gets knocked out. Vegeta is then holding gas and telling Granolah, finish charging your bullshit up.
Yeah, because
Fuck Manito, man. Why you gotta give me this kind of headache? You know what I mean? I hate Manito. He's the worst goddamn friend / roommate / Namekian I've ever dealt with in the experience that I've had in my whole life with Dragon Ball.
He went after the wrong alien, in my opinion. You go after the one that's pulling the screens. Because to me, I don't know. I bet you 50-50 after that when this is over, Maki and the other one, they're just followers. They're just following this whole plan. They're not masterminds. I just feel like once Alec died, you can leave those three alive, and it probably wouldn't even be that big of a
Let's
deal.
hope, man. I honestly think that we're not going to see any of them die, and they're all going to shuffle onto a spaceship at the end of this and fucking.
Oh no, I think we're gonna see some deaths.
I hope
it's within the wish, unless somebody has some power to change the divine within that.
it's within the wish, yeah. But this has been nothing but drop plot threads the entire arc. So if they seriously decide to drop that plot thread in favor of Granolah finding the power of friendship or like not seeking revenge anymore, like it wouldn't shock me, and it lets them keep the characters around, which I would have put all the money in the world that these two, specifically Granolah and Gas, will be dead at the end of this. But I guess not. Hey, tell me.
I can see them maybe getting. No, they shouldn't be able to be revived either, because the Dragon Balls only bring you back for like your remaining lifespan or something, unless they change that.
Bro, that shit changes like every other week. Who cares? I hope nobody's. Ideally, they either all get killed or they don't get killed at all. So I don't think we're gonna have to worry about the Dragon Balls wishing somebody back. Or maybe, they don't drop.
Unless they bring somebody back that can like change that wish, like Whis, I guess, somebody with more divine power or something.
I don't even think Whis would be able to do it. He's not a Namekian, but either way, what do you've got some experience with the Naruto? You know how to do a Naruto run, weeb.
Mm-hmm. I love Naruto. I didn't like it when it was really big in school though, so I missed out on running with my friends.
I'm just being a dick, man. I'm trying to intentionally mispronounce Naruto. I'm just not doing a very good job at it. But the end of this chapter, Goku turns into what many of us have been calling. How do you say this word? Is it Susanoo form? The giant.
The Susanoo.
Susanoo.
The Susanoo.
Susanoo. Okay, thank you. It's a word that I've never had to say out loud until today, but I've read it a million times since the end of the moral arc, and now again this month. So, Susanoo, thank you. I mean, I don't think you were doing podcasts with me when I did the end of Moro. I could be wrong. I forget when we started doing this shit, but
I think we did.
Did we? I don't remember. Do you remember how you felt about this thing at the end of Moro? Do you remember what that was like for you?
I just think it's a cool little ability. So I guess to me, it's more like key mastery, being able to use your key to like make a bodyoid of yourself. So I mean, it's just showing his mastery of key. So I think it's pretty cool. I hopefully Dragon Ball doesn't turn into like big old fights now.
Yeah, big like kaiju size level shit. I remember when I saw it in the Moro arc, I was firmly convinced. I'm like, this is like just a cool representation of what his energy looks like because he's so powerful right now. Like, this is a metaphor of how much he's beating the shit out of Moro, but like also, he's like pushing down Moro, who's like fused with the earth and shit, and like all those really cool, gross shots of Moro. I dealt with it then. I was like, all right, whatever, like big giant shit. But I was thinking that it was just like not like a form, but like a visual representation of a technique.
Well, I mean, Piccolo
Or
can
like a
grow
visual
big.
representation of overflowing power. Yeah, exactly. Piccolo can grow big. That's different than what I'm talking about. However, I do think it's interesting that Moro ended with the giant Goku, Dragon Ball Super Superhero ended with the giant Piccolo, and now the Granolah arc is ending with the giant Goku. 2022 is truly, or I don't forget when Moro was, but whatever, the last year and a half, 2 years has truly been like Dragon Ball Super giant size edition. Oh, because Toyotaro's obsessed with Marvel. X-Men giant size edition. No?
Mhm. I mean, it's true. I feel like you see a lot of his like influences through the manga.
100%, dude. Especially with like some of the new forms and
I
you
think the
look back
last
to stuff that he did with Dragon Ball AF and it's like, yeah, very obvious.
it was either last chapter. I think it was last chapter. He implemented a lot of like WWE wrestling moves. It was like the Iron Claw in there and everything. I was like, this is crazy.
That's pretty cool. I don't know enough about wrestling to notice shit like that, so that's interesting to hear that because
Mm.
like I'll pick up a Marvel stuff he does every month. It's like I saw this in a Marvel thing last month, and so did he. So I think he's borrowing some inspiration. You know what I mean? But it's interesting you pick up the same shit with wrestling. That's pretty cool. Um, my problem with the end of Moro, like thinking how I thought about it, like it's a representation of energy, whatever it is. I was just like, we don't get any explanation. Like, when did he learn how to do this? What made this happen? Is this a thing that he learned on Yardrat? Because that arc revolved a lot around Vegeta going to Yardrat to learn his key fission technique or whatever. So I was just kind of more annoyed with the end of it because literally almost zero explanation. And then I thought the end of this arc would be obviously Granolah getting the win. It's his story for the most part, and Goku and Vegeta are learning some things about themselves along the way. But I mean, I guess Granolah technically did just get the win because Susanoo Goku throws him up in the goddamn like off of the planet. Oatmeal, Granolah, double team for the assist each other, blah 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 blah. Shoot him. He doesn't kill him. Like I expected Granolah to get the dub, you know, but I did not expect to see giant fucking Goku again. Like I wouldn't have bet this in a million years. Also, why? Also, if you're gonna do it twice in a row, this time it seems a lot more like a desperation transformation. Like he's about to get killed by gas and something clicks in his eyes, like just one panel of it, and then he changes and the energy comes out of him, almost like it's involuntary. I like the way that it triggers in this one again. I'm just surprised they went back to it. And like, are they gonna talk about what it is ever, or am I just gonna have to fucking wonder? And this thing's gonna show up like at the end of the next arc as well. Is that how all of these arcs are going to end going forward? Fuck Mastered Ultra Instinct. We got Giant Goku now, ending shit out every time.
One thing I think was interesting, I'm not for sure, but I think his hair did change back to white in that form. So it looked like it's something he has to be in his ultra instinct, like full thing. And also it was doing like his movements too. So he had to be awake to do like for it to activate.
Yeah, if you look at the shot, there's like a good shot of Goku, like a regular size Goku, inside the boot of Giant Goku, and he's like doing the moves that Giant Goku is doing. So
Mm-hmm.
there's certainly like I don't know, it's almost like an autonomous Ultra Instinct thing again. Like they're just acting up like on them all by themselves. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. I hope we get some sort of explanation on it. I don't think I'm against it. Like I like Godzilla movies and shit like that. I like seeing big giant monsters fight each other, not necessarily big giant versions of the characters that I like that are human sized, you know?
You know what I just thought of another good arc for Dragon Ball after this would be it would be if they can bring in some other Ultra Instinct fighters to come and fight Goku. Oh, then we get a great battle of those big ass motherfuckers. They'd be like, this is what happens when you actually master this shit. And they like planet size.
Well, I mean, that's Goku's edge of the tournament of power, right? Is that he taps into it and nobody else knows how to or can or whatever, but it's not impossible for other mortals to achieve. There are four of the universes we did not see in the tournament of power who were too powerful or like didn't have to worry about getting eliminated because they were just upper echelon fucking universes. Maybe some of those people have Ultra Instinct in there. I don't know because they keep going back and doing stupid shit like this and rehashing like the Cerealians because they're certainly not the fucking Saphurians, you know? Speaking of Saphurians, Cerealians, and the like, Granolah learns the power of friendship. He's not going to kill the Saiyans and he's not going to kill Gas and just get the hell off my planet. What do you think the future looks like for old Granolah? What do you think the future holds for him if not death? Because I think there's a decent
He,
shot
he
he has to die, right?
he's gonna die.
He
Like
has to.
I just feel like it's just he has to die within how his wish works, and then how we see Gas. Gas is like dying, in my opinion. I don't care what anyone's saying. He is dying. He just went from like he's super young to looking super old. Power is like he can't even control his power anymore. It looks like now he's down on the ground. What I'm thinking is basically Gas. I mean, not Gas, but Granolah got to the point where he's like, me killing them isn't going to really solve anything. Like, even though what they did is what they did, it's like, what outcome am I going to get? It's not like my mother's going to come back. I've already did all this other stuff. It's like, what's going to happen? So it's like, I don't know.
What's the point? And he'll go out like a fucking king, not having killed anybody, but knowing full well that he totally could if he wanted.
Most most def. Still needed a little bit of the assist, but
I
yeah.
mean, that's the one thing about Goku's new form here, right? Is that he goes from getting his ass absolutely whooped by Gas, and then he's a giant version of himself, and he literally manhandles him like it's absolutely nothing and throws him basically into the atmosphere. Like, how powerful is Goku in that form, man?
What I thought was interesting is because how Alec tried to use Granolah, like, oh, you power it up, but you won't be able to shoot it towards the ground or hit the planet. And Goku was like, what? Fuck that shit. Just like
Right?
took him in there, like,
Quick thinking on Goku's part. Yeah, I definitely thought that when I read it. I'm like, oh, all right. Yeah, I'm sure they can't figure out a way to not shoot it directly at the planet. And sure enough, dumbass Goku's the one who delivers on that promise. Hell yeah.
I guess they were like, Goku has to have some reason why it ended.
Yeah, Goku has to have some role in the actual win, which, yeah, of course, sure. But like, you couldn't have given Vegeta something cooler to do outside of hug Gas from behind while Granola just powered up for another 10 seconds. Christ. So I don't know, maybe some dropped plot threads. I'm not sure. I guess we still have to see the aftermath chapter next week when I assume the Heeta gang will turn and, turn tail and run. Is that the phrase?
See, I still feel like Alec is planning something, but I also feel like we kind of need another chapter to go a little bit back for us to see what Granolah was dreaming about this whole time. So we can kind of get an understanding of what, like, if they wanted us to understand how he made that drastic change from, like, let's not do revenge. Because I know they kind of broke it down before he kind of went to sleep. But I kind of want to see, like, what made him like, you know what, I'm not going to kill Gas. Even though these people were wanting to destroy you just a second ago.
Yeah, I'm sure it has something to do. And like, I guess this is best case scenario for me at this point. I'm sure it'll have something to do with Bardock and how
It's going to be a ghost of Bardock.
How Bardock left Granolah alive when he was a kid, and how that, allowed Granolah to come up and eventually work with Goku, who was the only reason that he was able to defeat the Heeta Gang and all this shit. Like, it's gonna be like one of those, because your dad spared me, I learned the power of mercy or whatever. And like, it's just another way to say Goku's just like his dad because Goku exercises mercy on his opponents all of the time. You know what I mean?
True.
Probably gonna be one of those.
Or if they want to make it good, they should have Granolah mom like, wake up, get up. And I think that'll be an epic scene. And he just wakes up after that. Oh, that'd be dope. See, I'm coming up with great ideas.
Wait, are you trying to say that the Granolah arc was all a dream?
Not even like that. No, I'm just saying, like, while he's on the ground and like everything's happening, you just like a scene where it's like she's screaming to him while he's unconscious, and then he just wakes up.
She's dead, dude.
But I mean, he's on the planet. This is anime. Seems like something that fucking would work. I mean, Bardock comes back through fucking memory shots. Why can't she come back from like all the dead. So what I don't even know what race.
Oh, so like my mother's voice woke me up in a dream. Yeah, well, either way, I don't think it matters. Muesli is dead as fuck. So is Bardock, but Bardock's voice was recorded on a scanner that was playing in front of Granola's unconscious bodies. Okay, that's the reason. That's the facts. That's the headcanon. So says me. Okay. Um, Drop plot threads. I mean, we'll see if Gas and Gas and Granolah burn through the remainder of their power / lifespans. OG 7-3, great kickoff point for this arc, and then we never hear from him again. I don't think Frieza's going to show up. I do wonder if Alec had made a second wish and what Alec's plan eventually, or like backup plan, it seems like he had one, is going to be. But I'm convinced like he's going to probably turn tail and run right away once Gas is disposed of. He's going to be like, I'm going to get my brother out of here while I can, and I'm obviously in no position to fight these strong ass motherfuckers. I'm out. Unless his wish did something, but like that'd be a problem that they'd have to figure out in the narrative. So I'm sure they'll be more than happy to just push it off and have him get on a spaceship and run away from their problems.
Well, there's a few things I think that could happen. I think one thing could be is Gas been misled and not knowing he's gonna die. So then, like, once he starts to realize that could be he can like kill Alec because of that, seeing that as betrayal.
I like that.
I just thought of that.
I like that.
Also, he could have wished for that one robot back. I keep because that robot was brought up in the beginning of this arc.
OG 7-3, yeah.
OG 7-3, and he could have wished for that back. And while Granola's already on the ground, I guess almost in his most powerful state, he could come up and just touch him and absorb all that power.
Don't like that because that elongates this arc, and I'm all set with this bullshit. It needs to be over.
If I was Alec, that would be the best backup plan to have. Like if you were like really smart, that would be the best backup plan. But who knows? Because to me, I feel like we starting to realize like the siblings have more of affinity. They don't want Gas to die. So I feel like if Gas did die and Alec knew he was going to die, I think that's going to be a problem too.
Imagine, dude, Oil and Maki wake up from their fucking midnight nap and they're like, what do you mean?
No, remember they ran after Gas when he fell.
Oh, yeah,
they woke back up.
That's right. What do you mean you made a wish with the dragon to like shorten his lifespan? Why didn't you tell any of us that? And then they unleash their instinct and gang up on Alec and fucking murder him as they watch their poor brother Gas die.
That'd be interesting.
I'll be into it. And then Oil and Maki can join the crew. They seem fun. Bring them back to Earth. I'm sure they could make a fucking heel flip, man.
Yeah. Yeah, they would need something to do because I don't know if I would just lead them out there. You know what I mean?
They probably just go work for Frieza if they want it, right?
Be honest with you. I guess Frieza still could come. I would love for Frieza to come out of nowhere and hit the finger beam. Like, what? I think that would be so lit. Like, we just turned around, tried to run, and then Frieza like on the ship. And just like turn around, like, oh, so what? You been waiting for me?
I would kill for an ending like that. Frieza shows up, like Gas is like fucking all the vapors like coming up off him. He's all charred and shit from Granola's shot. Elec's like, well, I think we all know that. And then all of a sudden, like a shadow rolls in, Frieza's giant ass spaceship, and he hops out the top of it. He's like, oh, ho, 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 ho. And he just like finger bangs Alec to death. Finger bangs Oil and Maki and Gas all dead.
That'd be lit.
He's like, I heard you guys had some shit to say. And by the way, Goku and Vegeta, I see you're here. I know we haven't fucked around with each other in about a year's time, but guess what I've been doing? Training. You thought 4 months was a rough time last time? Now I've been training for a full-on 12 months, and I got people beating me up left and right. Tagama's a bitch. I got way more powerful training partners. Now I'm going to be the real emperor. I'm going to kill you guys, go get the Super Dragon Balls, and then we kick off a new arc.
The thing is, I don't think he would fight Goku and Vegeta because I don't think he's as powerful because they just literally fought the most powerful people in the universe. But I do think he would kill Alec if he knew Alec was going around trying to kill him. So I do think he would like sneak on there and do it and like do that. Or if Alec did get off the planet and kill him, I just think having Frieza come out of nowhere and just like bang, and I think that'd just be so lit.
So So Goku's still in his Susanoo form, right? And he like just threw dude into the atmosphere. Granolah hits him with the shot, assist from Oatmeal. Elec's like, that's fine, because my backup plan is Frieza's ship rolls in, right? Shadow overcasts Elec. But Frieza, you get a shot of Frieza in his spaceship, and he looks out the window and he's like, is that a giant fucking Goku? Uh, all right, guys, this is gonna be more of a drive-by type situation. He finger bangs Alec out the window, yells, "Stop talking shit!" And then he flies away because he doesn't want to fuck with giant Goku.
I'd be like, you know what? Let me just save this fight, you know, because as soon as you fight Goku, it's the fight to the death. So why hasten that when you can go around trying to build up to that? That's
Last
what I'm
time it
thinking.
wasn't a fight to the death, man. Episode 94 is super when he goes to recruit him in hell, man. I love that
But I
episode.
mean, he was already dead.
Yeah, but you
So
know,
it's like,
die again, die for real. So hopefully, I'm thinking next chapter we get the resolution here, whatever it may be. They run away, some people die, who knows? Dragon Ball Super, when they end an arc in the manga, they kind of do this weird thing sometimes where it'll feel at least like the chapter is separated into two halves. And like the first half is the end of this. And then the next arc is like, or not the next arc, but like the next
they
half.
all get together type of shit.
Yeah, finally, 3 weeks later, back on Earth, you know, and they're talking with Bulma at a barbecue at the Capsule Corp house or whatever. I hope that's best case scenario for me next month is that sort of scenario where we end 87 back on Earth.
I think we got 2 more chapters. I think there's gonna be another like a little
We might.
interesting chapter, and then the next chapter is going to end that, and then we're gonna have the little, you know, either food party or be interesting if they just try to jump straight into a new arc, but I think that'd be too much. We kind of do
Yeah.
need I think we need a slice of life chapter.
We need a break, bro. I need a break from granola. I also need a break from podcasting. I've been doing too many podcasts lately.
Well, I mean, that's your job. When you make it your actually your way of earning cash is you're gonna podcast.
You're not wrong, but this has been fun. Like the recording part of it. Like last week's episode, dude, I talked about Dragon Ball for like 20 minutes and then I answered Instagram questions. And one of the Instagram questions was like advice on starting a podcast. And I went off on like a 20-minute rant about how to start a podcast. And I say this thing in there where I'm like, hey man, sitting down with your buddies to record, that's so much fun. You're always gonna have a blast doing that, probably, if you're like you got comfortable on the microphone and all that stuff. But like editing, bro, editing is not a very fun thing for most people, you know? Like most people don't want to do it. And like that's exactly what I'm hearing myself say in my brain right now as I see us hitting like the 40-ish minute mark. So I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna wrap it up, right?
I feel it.
Before we go, Dragon Ball Super Superhero tickets went on sale this past Friday. I think it was yesterday, actually. Or no, it was today. Today we're recording this on Friday the 22nd. You're probably hearing this early next week, whatever it is, Monday or Tuesday. Tickets are on sale though for local viewing, so check it out. There's some subs in there. I'm gonna go see both. I think I might go see subbed first.
I wish they showed them together, dubbed and sub. That's how I usually watch anime.
What do you mean, like dubbed with the subtitles on?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I went to go see. We talked about this before we started recording, but I went to go see Jordan Peele's new movie Nope last night, and the movie started and it had subtitles on, and everyone in the theater kind of had like it was such a weird collective thought. Everyone thought the same thing. It was like, are these subtitles part of the movie? And then they had the shifting thought of, oh, well, they're obviously like on for the whole thing, so maybe there's a deaf person in here. I don't know. Like, maybe a hard of hearing person needs subtitles. That's strange. I've never been to a movie where that's actually happened, but I'm pretty sure they can do that. It must be have a deaf person here. So I get comfortable with the subtitles. I don't typically watch with subtitles on unless it's, you know, in a different language, but I get comfortable with them. Like 10 minutes in, 20 minutes in, the movie just fucking pauses. And I'm like, what the fuck is this, man? And some dude walks down the ramp. He's like, attention, everybody. Sorry about the subtitles. We're going to restart the movie and turn the subtitles off. And I was just like, what the fuck, man? So I like went out and refilled my Diet Coke, came back, and they rewound the movie 5 minutes and I hit play without subtitles. But I'm just hyped to see Dragon Ball Super Japanese in a fucking theater. Like, this is little kid Kyle would be so psyched to know that I'm gonna do that next month, dude. What?
I think this is a good movie for it too, because especially with how the action and stuff and the fight scenes, I feel like it's gonna
Word.
look really good in the movie theaters. I hope they didn't lose any money because of that leak.
Dude, I don't know. It's tough to say. All right. It's almost definitely that they did lose some money. And you know why they probably lost money? One, they're going after people legally speaking now. Like Toei is going after people who leaked the film and people who like illegally cam recorded it and shit like that. That's one. Two, like I knew when they announced the animation style change for this movie to CGI, and like when they announced that it's not, even though Broly's in it, Broly's not really a focus of the movie. It's Gohan and Piccolo and Pan. CGI and not a movie about Broly, Goku, Vegeta after the Broly movie. Recipe for fucking disaster, man. I love the movie for what it was. I thought it was a lot of fun, but I know a lot of people watched it and they were like, fuck this movie. This was one of the worst Dragon Ball movies I've ever seen. And another, I mean, statistically speaking, it's the worst performing Dragon Ball movie in the box office in the last 25 years. What does that really mean? It's the worst performing Dragon Ball movie in the last 9 years. Like, I don't know why that meme that was floating around a couple of weeks ago specifically said 25 years. I have to imagine it's because Dragon Ball movie 13, the Harudegarn, Wrath of the Dragon, Dragon Fist Explosion, that movie came out in 1997. It was like one of the last theatrical releases for Dragon Ball outside of Path to Power for the 10-year anniversary for the GT the following year. My point is, 97 starts this long fucking drought of no Dragon Ball movies until 2013 with Battle of Gods. So people to go out and make a meme with a deceptive looking stat like that, it's like it's the worst performing movie of four movies. Of four movies. Like, say it for what it is. And by the way, it didn't even underperform by much, according to Japanese box office totals. Like, yes, it underperformed compared to the previous three. But the previous three were all made on like budgets of 10 million fucking apiece and like made in excess of 150 million. Like, I don't know, man. It's a
I
win
feel
for
like
Toei either way.
you still have other aspects. You still have COVID, and then you don't know what it's going to do internationally. So all that money can be made. I thought it was a really good movie, though. That's crazy. If people think it was that bad, it'd be like it was horrible.
I'm pretty sure that I don't know, man. I haven't been keeping up on San Diego Comic-Con stuff. We're talking San Diego Comic-Con weekend right now. I haven't kept up with any of it. I know they have a bunch of Dragon Ball exhibits going on there. I've seen a bunch of photos on like Instagram from like the setting up over the week. Lots
Mm.
of big Dragon Ball statues and these big displays where you can like take pictures with, life-sized characters and all the toys on display for upcoming lines, the figure arts and stuff like that. But they are previewing like the first 20 minutes of the movie dubbed this weekend. I think the panel might have been today. Maybe it's going on right now. Who knows? If not, it's tomorrow, Saturday. I'm not sure. But Chris Sabat will be there and Toshio Furukawa, who's the voice for Piccolo in Japan. So
I wonder how much money they make for this. You think they make about? You think Chris Evans make about $1 million,
for what?
more than $1 million, for these Dragon Ball movies?
Sabat's not a good person to gauge it based off of like a voice actor performance because he is like the I forget, the supervising director might be the title that he has. Basically, everything that gets dubbed for Dragon Ball, Sabat handles all of it. Like in terms of the casting and like some of the script choices and things like that. Sabat's like the most senior guy at Funimation in a lot of ways. So
Oh
um
shit!
yeah, I'm
He
definitely
probably get paid a
wrong.
big
I'm
bang.
definitely wrong on his title. So yeah, my point is he makes good money, but like a guy like Sean Schemmel, no joke, dude. When I met Sean Schemmel, and he had just come back from a break at a convention, he had zero line. I caught him while I had a buzz on, and I chatted his ear off for about 15 minutes. He openly commented to me about how little money he makes being the voice of Goku. And that's why they have to do so many convention appearances to make this shit worth it to them. Because especially Funimation is notorious. Like, there's a reason that shit's not out in Hollywood and that it's based in Dallas, Texas. And that's to be able to avoid a lot of like the Hollywood union laws and shit like that. When you do stuff for Funimation, I'm not talking any shit. This is all well known fact. when you do stuff for Funimation, it's on a per contract basis. You go in for an afternoon and they pay you, maybe a few
Whatever.
$100 for the day or whatever. Whatever it is. It could vary based on experience, obviously, but like,
So you
yeah,
ain't making no big bucks really doing
no, you
voice
get
acting.
paid like on a session per session basis. You should ask John Stimack about how voice actors get paid in your next conversation with him.
Yeah, most deaf. Man, I thought especially if you get like a known character, you big paid, but
Bro,
nah, I
I'm
guess
sure
not.
Sabat's out there killing it at conventions every week, making thousands and thousands of dollars every weekend as the voice of Vegeta and Piccolo and Yamcha and All Might and the
I just feel like that get tiring after. I guess that do make sense. They do voice multiple characters from multiple different series, so I guess if
yeah.
they were making money off of one person, they wouldn't have to do that. But
Well, that's why it's so weird for Sean Schemmel. It's like he has almost zero. I mean, he's done other voice roles, obviously, but like his biggest ones, Goku, King Kai, both within Dragon Ball, and I believe it has something to do with his contract. I don't know, dude. He talked to me a little more than I ever thought a voice actor would that day about how little money he makes. It was uncomfortable, but he also just openly didn't give a fuck about me. So whatever, it is what it is. But Schemmel's kind of unique in that respect. He also does one of the voices for Ed, and Eddie. I forget which one. Maybe Ed.
I wonder if that paid him more. That'd be interesting.
It honestly might have, as opposed to doing session work for Funimation. It honestly might have. But, they go out and do those conventions and sign shit for like 40 to 60 bucks a pop. So if they see, 1,000 people that week, they're walking between
Man,
5 and 10 grand, depending on how much shit they sell or pictures they take, or for assholes like me, how much little audio recordings they do. But you talk to, on the flip side of Sean Schemmel, is a person like Monaco Real, friend of the show. Everyone doesn't like Monaco, blah, blah, blah. I love that bitch. She's the workingest dub anime voice actor in the history of the world, second to one VA in Japan, whose name I do not know offhand. She is paying her bills by doing a million sessions all the time and doing some pretty big characters on a bunch of, a couple dozen anime, and then doing like little minor parts and a few other dozen anime. So like she's voiced characters on hundreds of shows over the years, having a strategy like that where Schemmel's, stuck to a few different roles. Sabat's career has taken the trajectory of, I oversee the entire process of making this one show that I've been involved with for the last 25 years in America. So that's the, trajectory his career has sort of gone. And yeah, those are the three main ones that I'm familiar with, at least, I guess. This just took a completely different turn than I expected to go. Any more questions about voice actor career trajectory? Do you want to ask me, or do you want to ask your boy John Stimack?
yeah, it's we go ahead. Let's end it.
Yeah, talk to your boy John. Go check out Raysean's podcast, our Gap, the Raysean Gatson Anime Podcast. He and I and Kelly are working on some stuff for September via Advice Pod. So stay tuned for more stuff on that. It'll be in its own feed, so I'm gonna need you guys to go support that shit early for me, okay?
Please, man.
Please, we're having a blast recording them though, so that's the important part, and hopefully it'll come across in the recordings like I feel like our test episodes did earlier this year. But that's gonna do it. Raysean, I appreciate your time, my friend. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, before we go, I have an episode coming out, another episode with John Stimack coming out soon. So I just wanted to shout that out. Stay tuned, guys.
Yeah, I
All
was
right.
hinting at it. Like I hinted at it like 2 or 3 times in the last 5 minutes, but I'm glad you tied it all together with the actual call to action. And stay tuned. Go rate and subscribe. Check out part 1 of the conversation. I've linked to it in past
part
show
1.
notes of episodes here, but I'll put the link in the show notes here again. Go check out part 1 of the conversation. He talks a lot about just what it's like being a voice actor. So if you've ever had any curiosity about that, it's a good conversation to check out. All right, that's gonna do it. Susanoo!
Peace.
Giant Goku, it is all the rage. That works.
I fucks with it.